Okay, we can start. Ayumi, hello.
Okay. Hello.
So today we organized this small event with our Women Talks, and it's like a side event on Digital Almaty. So we've been here today, and it's a great event, IT event, digital event for all Kazakhstan. So many people, so many partners we have here in this city. So that's why, due to this traffic, I think we have not many of us. But the first podcast is with you. So let me introduce Ayumi Mur-Aoki, founder and CEO of Women in Tech Global. Now we have, I think, over the 250,000 of members of Women in Tech Global, and we have our global mission. I think Ayumi will tell about this later. And today we have the podcast only about our travel to Davos.
Okay.
So I was so glad that we joined it with Tulkun Nurusheva. We joined it this year, the Davos delegation, and it is a very good experience for us. For me, for us, and for our country, I think. And if we can share some life hacks today, some recommendations with all women, so we can collect more delegation. Yes, the next year, because for us it was like a sample, like I don't know, like a trial.
A trial, yes.
Yes.
It was your first Davos. First Davos are always interesting because even though we try to explain how it works, how to prepare, until you live, you experience how it works, it's difficult to get prepared because it's very special. First, to get to Davos is so far. Even when you're in Europe, I live in Paris, even in Paris to get to Davos is far. So imagine from Kazakhstan. And so everyone that comes from around the globe, I think they go and they meet. It's almost like a pilgrimage they do in the beginning of the year. And the most interesting people are there, leaders from all kinds of industry, from innovation, from government, from the public and the private sector, but also artists and indigenous people, people that are dreamers and the shapers and the shakers. Everyone is there to make things happen, especially in the beginning of the year, because we have so many resolutions. I think the energy is high, the strengths. And so I really recommend you have to come. But now that you have come, you and Tolkien to Davos the first time, you're going to be able to build on this, on this momentum. And next year, you're going to see the power. You really get even much more from this, from the Davos experience, for sure.
So, and my questions, I think it is very interesting for all women, why they should join the next year Davos, and what is the interesting in Davos, especially maybe from, from gender parity questions, I don't know what.
So in Davos, all the latest conversations are being done. Not only the conversations, they are being shaped, but we know what the innovations are, we know what the problems are, what the conversations on the political level. But once again, we have the top of every single industry is present in Davos. So you're part of that conversation. And also you have access to so many people. You just you walk down the main avenue, it's called the promenade. And when you're walking down, you just see, like CEOs on the one side and ministers on the other ones, and presidents here and presidents there. So you could just spend almost the whole day walking back and forth and to making meaningful connections. And the connections that you make there, you could never make them elsewhere in the world, because we have to travel from one side to the United States, to Japan, to Africa, etc. There, everything is condensed in one place. And people that go there, they're also very, in French we say abordable. That means that you can, very reachable, right? Accessible. So you can just go to them, present yourself on the road, and they will speak to you. They'll give you their time. And so you can really have access to these people that you would never have thought of. And also, you discover new people. There's so many inspiring speakers and conversationalists and topics from all walks of life. So you can learn about what are the latest trends in AI. And for instance, this year, everything was AI. AI here, AI there, everything was AI. And it's really, it's inspiring because you know what the latest trends are. So you know what the latest trends are. You speak to the pivotal people, the people who are really making the industry progress. You speak to the political leaders. You speak to the media, and you make so many friends as well. Yeah. I think your network can out of there. If you have a small network, it just builds and builds and builds. And from my experience, it was my fourth Davos. The following year, when you make these connections, you can also then become a speaker, right? And you elevate also your personal profile, your personal journey. You give also your point of view, and obviously here from Kazakhstan, you're going to be putting your country in the center of the world. For 1 week, the center of the world becomes Davos. Really, it does.
Yeah. And what is maybe some life hacks about living, about the preparation, about the booking of the hotels, about the reservations?
The better it is, right? So you must know that. So Davos, once again, because the whole world goes there for 1 week, to get accommodation is very difficult and it's very expensive. So tell yourselves that if you find something even like half an hour, 45 minutes, or an hour away, that is fine. This is just normal, because it's almost impossible to find things within Davos. And also be sure that you're going to be sharing beds, right? Sometimes you're not going to be sharing apartments, you're going to be sharing beds. If you want to share one bed in Davos during that week, it can cost you up to 3,000 euros, just to share a bed. And so, but it's fun. It's fun because you don't even spend any time, at your apartment. You wake up in the morning and you just go there. You just go to start your meeting, start with breakfast with prime ministers and so many things. And until the end of the day, in the evening even, there's so many parties. That's also the nice part, because not only you make these meaningful connections, you expand your network, your knowledge, but you have a lot of fun. And sometimes the most meaningful connection happens in the evening, with the after parties, when you go from one place to another, and
I remember our party in Kosovo House. It was also a funny story.
We finished off at the Kosovo House, where the Prime Minister was there, we stayed with everyone, and we were having party at the Kosovo House.
Yeah, I remember, because Ayumi wrote me often that the hotel is only for sleeping.
Yes.
It's only for sleeping, yes. And it is really only for sleeping, because you start your day from early in the morning. We try to with Tolkien, go for running. So in the Swiss Alps, and
I think those are the only girls I've ever seen. They come to Davos and they go running. I don't know how many kilometers, 10, 20.
10, 12, yeah.
10, 12.
Well,
the hills like this is okay, we're ready for the
But we need it, because it is very good experience for us as well to be in Davos, and to be in Swiss Alps and not go for running. Yes, and it was really only the hotel is only for sleeping. In the morning you start with your running, with your breakfast, and you go to the Davos. And we used to live in Lens.
40 minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes from Davos. It is quite...
It's quite a ride, especially in the evening. But it's okay. Once you we had a nice chalet as well. And there were 7 of us. So that's also fun. It's like a girls' week out.
Yeah.
So I was there. We had Maya, who is our director for Saudi Arabia. We also had Yuki, who is our director for APEC region. Rika Nakazawa, who's a chief innovation commercial for NTT World Global. And my director for photography and filming, Fernando. He could sleep on the couch. He was our driver, and he filmed as well, but he was also there. But it's a very fun experience, right? Yeah,
of course. And we visited the Kosovo. And one life hack, I tried to book in the booking the hotel in Arosa, and in the booking it was something like
8 kilometers.
8 kilometers, yes, from Davos. And I thought it is very good, and sent Ayumi the link.
Yes.
So and she told me, it is Arosa. It is 10 kilometers, but you need to reach by helicopter.
If you did a helicopter, many people have, right? If you went by helicopter, 8 kilometers is not far.
Yeah.
But by car with the Swiss Alps, it took 1.5 hours. So if you
I wrote so many letters to them, yes. And because it is something like a misunderstanding. But they wrote me that we need to pay attention. That it is different
yes,
things.
Really pay attention, because they try to. Because that week, also Airbnbs, that week everything is so expensive. Sometimes they do the whole whole year revenue only in that week. So there are many things that you don't want to fall in the traps. So just try. But obviously, reaching out to us, we will give the best hacks. And the other thing you have to do, obviously, if you need to try and get a badge. So the white badge is very difficult. It's almost only for the speakers or for the main official partners that you can have. But then there are things called the hotel badges, because there's the official Davos, which is in the Congress Center, and that's where the main things with the presidents and stuff happen. But then throughout, there's like side events, which not even the side events, everything is around
the Congress
Center. So you've got the different hotels that all the big companies have, and every single little shop on the promenade, big brands have. So it's going to find, I don't know, Deloitte and Uber and Automation Anywhere and Meta. All of them, maybe it was a shoe shop before, it becomes this whole big lounge for this big company. And so you go hopping from boutique to boutique, where you can have like the lounge for a country. It can be South Africa, India, Kosovo. It can be a big
Emirates,
Saudi, etc. Yes, and you go from one to another. And there's always a whole agenda publication. And obviously the best events you have to book. So maybe starting December, November, December, you start getting aware. You start going to, say, typing on Eventbrite and going on all these lounges once you know which the AI house will have. And you have to register, because you have to be approved to be able to go into these. And so you register for everything, because sometimes there's so many people registering, it's not sure you're going to be accepted. So I would say you register for everything, and then as you get the confirmations as they go on, you have to make a very neat, detailed Excel sheet,
like an
time by time, an agenda, to see, okay, where do I go and where is it placed, so that you can really make the most of it. And even what I do with my agenda, I also put the speakers that are going to be there. Who do I want to meet? Now, if you go to Davos, what's your main reason? What is it that you want to achieve? Do you want to meet someone to be inspired? Do you want to try and make business? Do you want to try and reach that person? What is it you want to do? And so you make your program according to your what your objectives and what your goals are.
Yes, and this year it was over the 400 events, 7 years in Davos. It is so many events, and you should register in advance. So, and then my last question, tell maybe a little bit about the 100 Davos women, because it is the separately community. What kind of community and so.
So 100 Women at Davos was founded by Dr. Ayumi Mur-Aoki, who's a very good friend of mine. And we collaborate very, very well. And this is also important to say, because there's so many female or women-led communities that's almost like a competition. We should never see, women or other women-led communities as competition. I think we must really, really work together. That's why I'm so happy to have Google tech makers and any other communities. And 100 Women at Davos is one of those communities that we really want to you feel at home, because women from all over the world, they come, and there's like a dinner in the first evening, that's on the Monday evening, and you just meet and you talk and everything. And then we also have the WhatsApp groups. So WhatsApp groups are very important, because as soon as someone has a good deal, oh, did you register for this? Did you register for this? Oh, is someone even for a lift? Who is leaving that place? Did you forget an iron? Like everything you want, you have like a group with 100 women, and they're all willing there to help each other in some way or another. And that group carries on throughout. It starts in Davos, but once you're part of the community, you keep on that WhatsApp group, and then there are events around the world throughout the year. So it's going to be UNGA in March in New York, it's going to be COP, it's going to be so many different things. And Women in Tech and 100 Women Davos, we work very closely together. And I'm also very proud now, I'm part of the board of these experts with 100 Women in Davos, where we're going to be doing white papers with policy recommendations.
Yeah, thank you so much. But when we arrived with Tolkien, we had a 1 day of flight. When we arrived to Davos, we came at least, yes, and Ayumi told us to join this dinner. But we were in the leggings and in hoodie, Women in Tech hoodies. So it was like a special merchandise.
Huge luggages.
So that's why it was not so weird, I think. But all women were in this in dresses, and yes, and only we are with Tolkien. yes, only sport casual. But the atmosphere was
very laid back. At the same time, like people not there looking, oh, what is she wearing? What is she not wearing? No, it's very. This is also why I like, because it's in the mountain. So people they're relaxed.
Yeah, even in
they're outside of the,
Yeah, okay. We had an experience, I think 2 years ago. We've been in Silicon Valley, then we went to Singapore with a small, then we had, with Tolkien, we had a trip to Paris to the Women in Tech Global Summit, then to Davos. And now we're...
And the best one was Paris, right?
Yes. And, and now we're preparing to Osaka. And I think it will be the big delegation. That's why we extend this information in the women community and in LinkedIn and in the social media, that we have this special group, special delegation. So, and I think it is very good opportunities that we have thanks to you personally and Women in Tech. And we are glad that we are the part of this global community as a country. And we are like this small community. Thank you so much, Ayumi.
Well, thank you, Sam. We're so proud to be present in Kazakhstan, this beautiful country that I came to discover only in September, and it's already my third time in less than 6 months. So soon I'm going to be asking for a residency or something. I love Kazakhstan. But it's true, I think what I found in Central Asia that I had never discovered before is like the warmth of the people, right? You're very, like you're great hosts, very warm, very sincere, very, well, yeah, very, I'd say really warm, almost like the Latins of Asia somehow. So I enjoy it very much. And being able to, for us to bring other women, you know, from around the world to discover your culture, I think that's so important, but also to have you girls bring all your cultural richness to our events around the world. I think it's beautiful. And the most important, obviously, is the exchange of information, of networks, of know-how, right? Of experiences.
Yes, and recently I asked Ayumi what is Ayumi by her nationality, because she is like European or Asian, and Ayumi Mur-Aoki, it is not some typical original European name itself. And Ayumi told that she's half Brazilian, half Japanese, but in my soul I felt like somebody from Central Asia. So yes, that's why it's so close to us. So we are like a soulmate. Thank you so much, Ayumi.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think a lot of women will join to Davos the next year, so we can prepare in advance.
Before Davos, we have Osaka in only 3 months. And it's going to be a great experience because we're having delegations coming to Osaka. It's going to be the Expo 2025. World Expo is only once every 5 years. So that means that the next one is going to be only in 2030 in Riyadh. And it's going to be the best period, April. It's not going to be the cherry blossom, but just afterwards. And we're all going to be there. So
you're all welcome to Osaka.
All welcome. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.